What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the DCXP podcast. Savannah, Mike, Joe, and a special guest this week to break down the Wizards draft, Quinton Mayo from NBC Sports Washington. Welcome to the pod.
Get a live applause and everything. Thank you guys so much for having me.
We don't give those Zoom applauses where you just see the little emoji. We give real ones.
I like it. I like it. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I wanted to first ask this. Being a Wizards fan, I want to know your first Wizards memory, only because I live in LA now. Not currently, I'm in Virginia right now, but
Right.
I don't get to ask this. I don't see a lot of Wizards fans, so I like to know like what their first memory is of being a Wizards fan.
One of my first memories, let's see. I'll probably say involved me being at the game or watching the game, but my dad got a chance to go to Michael Jordan's last game as a Wizard. And I'm pretty sure he had courtside seats. The jersey you're rocking as well is awesome. He had courtside seats. I just remember him telling me, and I was like, Dad, thank you. Like, this is a father-son bonding moment. Let's go. And then he was like, no, I'm taking your uncle. And I was like,
Oh,
he was like, you're not even old enough to really know what's actually going on here. So, myself and your uncle are going. So he went. He had a great time, obviously, standing with me and everything. And then he comes back and gives me the lanyard. And it was like, here, you can have this. And at that point, I was like, I don't care about this. I want to go to the game.
Yeah.
And it was all beaten down and sweaty and had gross beer stains. I'm like, come on, Dad. Like, this is not cool. But that was my first moment that I probably vividly remember of the Wizards being in my life.
That's dope.
well, luckily you became a Wizards fan after that for life. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. Thank you for your uncle and dad. Yeah.
The suffering that came
yeah,
after
I guess.
that,
Yeah. Nice, good old-fashioned Ernie Grunfeld era ensued.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess if we want to break into the broad view of the team looking forward, free agency and the draft obviously coming up Wednesday, what do you think the landscape of the team is? What do you see in the draft that you like? Do you see anything that, could happen with the number 9 pick, whether they move up or, stay put? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, from what I've seen so far, I think this team is extremely happy with the depth in terms of the talent across the first round. There have been reports that Washington is interested in moving up, even coming from Tommy Shepard himself, but also he's mentioned multiple times about moving back. I mean, even yesterday, he had a one-on-one with Chris Miller. I don't even know if we've released that yet, but hopefully it's out by the time this comes out. But he had a one-on-one with Chris Miller saying, he mentioned it again, if we move back or if we stay at 9. He didn't mention moving up, which was interesting. So I think they're very confident in all the talent spread across this first round. And this time that is coronavirus, where they have so much time to break down players, film studies, Zoom interviews, all these different things. It kind of helps for some prospects who may have not gotten certain looks. Like Pat Williams is zooming up the board right now. Nobody was even saying his name a couple months ago. So everybody has a fair shake. So I think this team is definitely looking to, I'm just going to steal these words from Tommy. They're looking to get more athletic. They're looking to have a defensive-minded player who, whether he's a defensive stopper or not, he needs to be committed on that end of the floor. And somebody that's going to be able to come in and get some work right away, because they need all the help they can get immediately, especially with Bradley Beal's contract and his intrigue very, very much in the news recently.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, on top of that, I was just going to ask about what you're feeling on John Wall, because I just listened to his the podcast he did with Gilbert Arenas. I don't know if you saw that. That was I love that episode, and he seems to be fully adamant this time. He is fully healthy. Like they said, he was misdiagnosed with tendonitis for 6 years, and he finally got the bone spurs removed. His Achilles is straight. I think you've shared some videos of him working out.
Yeah.
What is your gut feeling on him going forward?
I mean, I'm excited. I mean, yeah, I'm the media, but I was a fan first, so it's hard to kind of suppress my excitement for a guy who's been so great for a latter part of my life. So he looks good. Like you said, the most important thing is him playing painless, which makes all the things that he's accomplished prior to this point so much more incredible, because this is a guy who's playing, he could barely walk. He had to tiptoe to the bathroom certain nights because his feet were killing him that bad. And he's out here playing against the best of the best, cream of the crop. And even at 50% of himself, he was still 20 and 10, probably one of the best 5-point guards in the NBA. So I think for him, for one, having basketball taken away from him, you start to take it for granted a little bit. So once him being away, he had the knee issues he had, then going right into his Achilles tearing. I think he grew a new appreciation for this game that it could come and go so quickly. And he knows that people are going to doubt you, your contract, you're not worth the contract. But like you said, prior to him getting that contract, everybody had no issue with him getting that Supermax. So I'm finally just happy to see him in a space where he's comfortable playing basketball, comfortable putting these videos out. He's never wanted to be shy about putting videos out. But just to see that he's playing basketball again, that's the intrigue. Now he's gonna have to do it every single night, but it helps that you can train against James Harden. You can train against guys like PJ Tucker, all defensive type guys, even Michael Beasley, who's gonna get under his skin. He knows he played against Kyrie and Kevin Durant and played with these are guys that are the top of the line. He's playing against Kyrie a lot this offseason. This is a guy who's it's incredible. I don't have to tell you about Kyrie Irving. So the fact that he can hang with these guys still and he looks healthy, it should give Wizards fans everywhere some confidence that he's ready to prove some people wrong.
And I always go back to that. The last season he, I think, played 78 games was 2016-17, where he averaged, I don't think people talk about this season enough. He averaged 23 and 11, basically. And I always say, like, that was where he was a top 5 point guard and basically unstoppable. And then
fully healthy right out the double knee surgery. So we can get anything close to that, then that's
I'm saying 80%
all NBA. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And I put out a tweet asking about realistic expectations for him. And I did see a lot of people a bit courageous in their predictions. But getting a point guard that can give you at least, let's say he finishes the season giving you 16-8 or 17-9. I mean, that's not 20-10, but shoot, what have you gotten from your point guard position last year? Like nothing. It's been a carousel of guys at that position who are good guys. Ish Smith is a great guy. Isaiah Thomas had a stint here as well. But to get an all-star caliber player that hasn't played in over 600 days, that's healthy and the best he's felt in a long time, in a year where you have to win if you want to keep things together with Brad and everything that's going on, I think he'll be a little extra motivated.
Okay, now let's look ahead to that number 9 pick. If you were Tommy Shepard and you were in charge here, who would you put to join this team? Who is joining Bradley Beal and John Wall? Who's the good addition?
Oh, I mean, I
Quinn
think
Shepard on the clock.
I think you know who I'm gonna go for is Onyeka Okongwu. I think he's the perfect fit. He checks all the boxes, but the more I love him, the more I read about him, the less likely it is that he's gonna be at 9. I've seen, I want to say Sam Beach. I can't even remember what his name was, but a draft expert for The Athletic. He had a recent podcast with Fred Katz, and he had him rated his 4th overall pick in the draft. So to think he's going to go to 9, it used to be the conversation of, is Obi Toppin going to fall to 9? All these viral video guys, and now it's like, nah, Okongwu's probably going to be gone. He has a chance to be gone before Wiseman, who at one point was the number 1 can't miss pick in the draft. So I think the more people have seen his film, and especially he's doing himself a great service by handling these pre-draft interviews so well. I mean, he's just a high character guy who wants to play hard and wants to play like Bam Adebayo. Any guy that wants to play like Bam Adebayo is going to get a look from me.
Sign me up.
Sign me up, right.
Well, Quinn, like you said, Ed, the more you love him, same thing that happened to me. I didn't have a huge file on him because my college basketball watching was low this season. So I do this,
for sure, me too.
This cram session of like draft prospects every year. And I was watching him and I'm like, yes, I want that, like immediately. Like that's exactly what we need. And then as I'm loving him, I see mock drafts of him going 3. I saw as high as 3. I don't know if you like the Ringer's website for the NBA draft. I think it's
I love the Ringer.
He's the number 5 rated prospect by Kevin O'Connor, who actually has Killian Hayes number 1, which I find pretty interesting. But like I said, as more as I love these prospects, they go up the draft board instead of down. But I wanted to, with that said, just kind of, I'm going to rapid fire read these mock drafts and who they have us taking.
Okay.
And then there's one that I'm going to put a pin in and come back to it and see if you'd do it. So the Ringer's mock draft recently has Obi Toppin falling to 9. The other Ringer mock draft from last week, they had the Wizards trading the 6th pick or the 9th pick, Troy Brown Jr. and the 37th pick for the 6th pick, and they had LaMelo Ball falling and them drafting LaMelo Ball. So put a pin in that. SB Nation writer mock Tyrese Halliburton from Iowa State. CBS Sports has Onyeka, Bleacher Report Onyeka, ESPN Onyeka, and then NBADraft.net has Isaac Okoro, the defensive wing from Auburn. Yeah. So take all what I just said. Now let's go back to the LaMelo Ball thing. Would you do that? Would you like that?
Now, see, here's the thing. I call myself one of the fourth Ball boys. Ball boys. You know what I'm saying? I met LeVar. He came to Richmond with LaMelo, and I want to say it was LaMelo. And what's the other brother?
LiAngelo.
They came to Richmond when I was working for the Times-Dispatch, and I got to meet, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is my new dad. Like, I'm a Ball brother now. So you can't ask me if I'm for the Wizards taking LaMelo. Now, should they? I don't know. And here's the thing. I think this Wizards organization is so, especially under Tommy, they're so big on culture and just we don't want to be in the press for anything negative. And not even saying, I think LaMelo is going to be an incredible talent. I think he's going to have a long future in the NBA. I think he's projected to go number one for so many reasons by so many different mock drafts, but just the stigma that surrounds, what if his father gets upset? You know, what if something happens and then having him at the games, if let's say Washington happens to go on a 6-7 game losing streak and LaMelo's not getting the time that a star should be getting, is his dad going to start mouthing off about Scott Brooks and this organization? I think they're just so beyond all that drama that they would steer away from him. Look at the pick they made last year. It's between Rui Hachimura in most people's eyes and Cam Reddish. I mean, Cam Reddish had a lot of red flags surrounding him coming into the season. Even though I feel like in the long run, Cam Reddish is the more talented player with the higher ceiling, they went for the guy that they have zero question marks about his character. He's going to work hard. He's going to put his head down. He's going to play basketball. And that's just the reality of what the Washington team is going to do this year. So I would trade for him, but it's a reason why I'm not up there right now is because that's just that's very much above my pay grade and my heart level. But the Okongwu stuff is real, but you know, if every mock draft, I think I saw this tweet, they said if every mock draft has Washington taking Okongwu, that means they're just not going to take Okongwu. Like something's going to happen to where they're going to go pick another guy. And I even saw Boston was packaging some stuff to trade up to get him. I think the teams that are above Washington right now are not necessarily in the market for him, but the fact that you see a lot of teams that are in the 15s, 30 that are like, we want to trade up to get a big, and Okongwu's the best one. You got to be afraid of those packages that Atlanta is willing to. Atlanta has like 17 guys under the age of 21.
Yeah.
All of them first-round picks. They don't really need any of these picks. They could easily get Gordon Hayward and a veteran presence and some draft picks later on and let Boston jump up and take Okongwu. So you never know. But LaMelo, man, you know, I would love to see a nice 6'8" point guard.
Dude might break basketball. He might have too much gravity. You never know. He might turn into Curry.
Just a quick follow-up, like a quick answer. Do you think his dad could be a reason why he slips?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can even tell his camp has done a good job, especially early in this process of doing everything they could to get him away from his father and that stigma just to prepare for this moment. Because you can see the Facebook Live TV shows and all those things were just adding bad press. Not even on a fault of his own, but you could tell he had a huge Bleacher Report piece he did about how he's a changed man. He wants to be independent. He doesn't want to lean on his father so much. He wants to be LaMelo Ball, the basketball player, not one of the ball boys. So I think he truly believes that, and he can be a great talent, but it's just hard to imagine that, you know, your dad is going to want to see you play basketball. Your dad's going to be hands-on. We don't want all that here. We want a grown man that can come in, function on his own, and play basketball. And LaMelo right now, even though he could fit that, the bag is a little too heavy.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, transitioning a little bit away from the draft, but looking ahead to this Wizards season, we've talked a little bit about Bradley Beal. We've talked about John Wall. Is it time to start thinking about maybe trading one of those guys away? Is it time to say bye to Bradley Beal?
You trying to get me fired on here, Savannah.
No, I'm asking the tough questions.
Oh no, I think it's always time to. Let me get my politician on real quick. It's always time to evaluate your future when you have guys that have been in the league as long as John and Brad have. I mean, to think that Tommy Shepard is never answering the phone on any of these trade proposals for Brad, to think that it's just not realistic. Now, whether or not he's open to doing that, which he's clearly said he's not, that's a different story. But you got a guy who's in his prime in Brad, who just averaged 30, 6, and 4, and didn't even get an All-Star selection.
Or All-NBA.
Or All-NBA, which
criminal.
is the one that really matters. But he couldn't even get in off the strength of a fan vote. Everybody can get in the All-Star team. He couldn't even get that. So it's obvious he's going to be upset about that. He knew signing that contract and that extension what he was going to be in for, but I think he imagined if I can average 30 and 6, like somebody's got to give me a chance. And losing definitely matters. You saw it this year. So I think you always have to evaluate that and put that on the table. As much as I'm excited and fans are excited about what you see from John Wall, who knows what he's actually going to be like night in, night out. I take Chris Miller's, this is one of his famous sayings, is that what is he going to do on a Tuesday night when De'Aaron Fox comes into town? And you're no longer the fastest guy on the court. So not only do you have to get past De'Aaron Fox, you have to guard him. And defense, we've seen John he'll probably go down as one of the best shot blocking point guards of all time. But how does he get so many block shots? Because he freely lets guys run past him like a defensive back almost, and uses that speed to catch up and get the chase down block. Is he still going to be able to do that on this side of the ball at this point in his career, coming off an Achilles, bad knees, and whatever? Yes, he feels better, but you can't think that he's not going to lose a step. It's different from like a Kevin Durant, who is 7 foot tall, can tear his Achilles. He was never a speedster. He's just going to shoot over you. If you're 7 foot, you can shoot over somebody. I don't care what you tear. You're still going to be able to put the ball in the hoop. So it's two different levels of injuries and situation. But, yeah, he's making a lot of money. Bradley Beal and John Wall are making more money than LeBron James and Anthony Davis right now. And that's the reality. They haven't seen the Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron and AD just won a championship. So you always have to keep that in perspective moving forward. Are you still going to commit all this money to these players? And if not, then maybe you do draft a LaMelo Ball, because who knows what's going to happen. You need to find some replacement. If you don't want to have a long streak of being in the lottery, Tommy Shepard said he hates being in the lottery, doesn't want to pick here next year. You got to win games, and that's just the reality of the situation.
Man, that 3-guard lineup with Ball, Beal, and Wall would be something.
It would be interesting.
But you definitely
maybe not on defense.
Have the coach, and I think Scott Brooks is a good coach, but you have to have a different level of coach up here to be able to make that work, as well as manage personalities. There's a guy, Bradley Beal, who was the ball handler for the last 2 years. First of all, he's going to have to take a second step to John Wall, who already thinks he's the alpha dog because he's been the alpha dog. And now you're going to bring in LaMelo Ball, he hasn't shown you that he can play off the ball in any event.
Yeah, no.
So you want to tell me you're going to draft this kid that could possibly be one of the best picks in a long time and just have him third fiddle to John and Brad? What is his personality going to be like? He's never had to play that role. You have to have a guy that can put all that together, and that might be extremely tricky. Draft Onyeka Okongwu or somebody like Obi Toppin and get him, defer to these guys when it comes to ball handling and playmaking. You get the ball when you get it and put in the hoop.
I was thinking about that potential of Ball coming, and he still has an issue with jacking up horrible shots early in the shot clock when you watch his breakdowns and stuff. I would feel that if he was on a team with Brad and John, that would be kicked out of his game immediately, because I don't think they'd stand for that at all.
I would hope so. Imagine LaMelo Ball taking a 32-foot jump shot. As soon as he crossed half court with John and Brad on each side of the floor just looking at him.
God.
I've imagined that. I've literally imagined
that. I'm writing about that right now in November. Like, let me get the pre-write ready. If they draft him and that happens, oh my gosh, the stories would be endless. Who knows what's going to happen? I just couldn't see them doing that. I just can't see it.
It would be, I think the reasoning by Kevin O'Connor was that Tommy Shepard did say we might try to swing for the fences. And then they basically said, Ball is a player. If he fell and you had that chance to move up, would be swinging for the fences. So,
yeah. I definitely think somebody's going to fall, though, that we're not going to expect.
I think Wiseman could fall.
Wiseman could definitely fall. And I think even with Wiseman, I've said this, it's a lot of question marks regarding him as the number 1 overall pick. But the value you get from Wiseman if you take him number 9 that's a very different conversation. It's less pressure. So I definitely think a player will get to 9 that you didn't expect if Washington decides not to trade up. Obi Toppin at one point, maybe even last month, the buzz was so real. He was like projected top 4. Now it's like Obi Toppin could fall to 9 and Washington could lose Onyeka to go top 4 to, let's say, Charlotte. That's crazy. So it's a whole bunch of games being played and a lot of angling. But I think there will be a player at 9 where Washington once again will be faced with a tough decision. Do we go with the Cam Reddish of this year's draft, or do we go with the Rui Hachimura of this year's draft? Swing for the fences, or go with somebody that's just going to play basketball, but he might not have as much upside as LaMelo.
Would you take?
I think
I was going to ask. Would you take Obi Toppin like without a doubt if he was there?
I would definitely take Obi Toppin, and that's what would have to happen if you drafted Obi. You would have to put him at the 4, bump Rui to the 3. I think, first of all, he was just getting comfortable playing the 4 in the league before his injury. So for then you to head into the offseason and tell Rui, hey, we need you to guard quicker players. We need you to take more jump shots, not be in the paint as much with your back to the basket, and not use that free throw line extended to get to your mid-range. That's a big adjustment for a second-year guy. So I don't know. And that's again to how your coach is going to incorporate that. If you draft Obi, I don't think you're going to want to bring him off the bench. You want a guy that can run with the starters. And if Davis resigns, they have shown no inclination that they're going to start Davis because he gets most of his points against the bench unit. So who are you going to put at that 4? You talk about moving Thomas Bryant to the 4, then who are you going to draft to play the 5? It's just so many different angles that you can look at. But I love Obi Toppin. A lot of people say, oh, he's just an athlete. He's just a scorer. So what? Just be an athlete and a scorer. They have the most athletic player on the Wizards team last year was what? Troy Brown? Yeah. Obi would come in and be the bounciest, most athletic, Sky. You want a pick and roll lob threat. Obi will dunk on everybody. That's easy for John. But
that's 20 points a game. Very soon.
He looks like a clone of Amari Stoudemire when I watch him play.
And I love that. And I think defense is so hard to gauge because we look at guys like Isaac Okoro, and we look at guys like Vassell. We're like, wow, they're such great team defenders, or they're such great individual defenders. Well, you can learn how to play defense in the team system. You don't have to be a lockdown defender 1-on-1. If you can learn how to play within the flow of a defense, rotate, pick up your guys, man, step in the lane we need to step in there, that's half the battle. You don't have to be a shutdown defender just to play in the NBA and be on both sides of the ball. So I think he definitely has room to grow, and he's a guy that looks coachable, at least from what I've seen. So if you get the right guys in there to teach him how to play team defense and everybody's healthy, that's half the battle. Last year, you can't play no defense when you got Isaiah Thomas in the lineup. And then, first of all, everybody on your team is hurt every week. So it's just no continuity and consistency in who's going to stand where and do what.
Yeah, and based on Shepard's comments, I think with the explosiveness and defense that they want to upgrade, I think Okoro and Vassell are definitely 2 guys at 9. If they don't move, there's a good chance they take one of those.
This is a good 3-and-D draft, I think.
I would hate another Isak. Like that's a lot of that spelling already gets me like ISAAC. We have 2 of those on the team with Isak Bonga and Isaac Okoro. That would be something for me to have to get used to. But yeah, I like Okoro. I just it's a lot of guys that are high character guys. Even Sadiq Bey. Like that's a sleeper too. I don't know if you get him at 9, but shoot, if you want to trade back for some assets and some picks, I think Sadiq is a local kid that you can bring in right away like Rui, put him in the starting lineup, he'll hold his own. And you won't hear any drama about his off-court issues or his lack of belief in the organization for not giving him opportunities. He's coached by Jay Wright. He's going to come in and play his role.
Right.
Okay, shifting off the draft one more time, but you brought him up, so we have to talk about it. What do you think the chances are that Davis Bertans is back on this team next year?
I honestly, I think it's up in the air. I think it's 50-50. And here's why. And I know that might grab the attention of some people on social media, but the thing is, this is the only time Davis is going to make this kind of money. Period. He's had 2 ACL injuries in his career that people just happen to forget about. He's now entering an offseason where he's seeking between 18 and 20 annually. That is a lot of money for a guy who's probably not going to start next season. Yeah. So at this point, it's pick your poison. Does Washington have his bird rights? Yes. Can they give him up to whatever he wants per year? Yes, they can. But are you willing to allocate all that money to a specialist, especially after you just got Jan Mahimi off your books and you were paying him so much money, equivalent to what you think Davies might want, you know what I'm saying, to come off the bench or be underwhelming? So I think there are absolutely some teams out there, Atlanta, New York, Charlotte looks like they're going to pivot to try to get Christian Wood. But these are teams that have all the cap space in the world to say, look, if Washington, they have their bird rights, but if you don't want to give them 20 a year, we're a terrible team and we need something like this. We'll give them 22. And if Tommy is like, yo, we can use that 22. We can spend 10 on a veteran big on a 2-year deal. We can spend 10 somewhere else on like a backup point guard or a backup shooter or anything. It's just, what do you want to do? I would lean towards take that money and allocate it to other places and have an extremely smart draft. I think you can get scoring in this draft. You bring Wall back. That's scoring in itself right there. I mean, Brad's going to get buckets too. He might be more of a catch and shooter again than he was when he had to take over for Wall. But I love Davies, but I would go ahead and just say, hey, go, you earn this. Go get your 20, your 21, your 22 from Atlanta. Bye. They have Capella on the books too. We'll use that money to do something else here and try to spread it out and widen out the depth on this team rather than say these 3 guys are making north of $100 million. This is our big 3. It has to work. Wall, Beal, and Davies making $100 million combined plus. You better be in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what it is. Because if not, if you look at that payroll on any other team, that's like Dame, CJ McCollum, playoff experience. AD Braun, playoff experience. KD, Kyrie, gonna have some playoff experience. Winners, rings. Davies, John, and Brad. That's tough. That doesn't fit in that conversation.
I think John, it would be fun to have John with Davies for at least half a season, though. See how many threes they can put together.
For sure. He's gonna find you. And to imagine how spread the floor will be for defenses to say, are we gonna deny Davies or we're gonna deny the guy who should have been an All-NBA player last year and now has less on his plate and doesn't have to take as many shots? It's gonna be fresher. It's gonna be able to close games out because he's not gassed for 40 minutes in the fourth quarter. It would definitely and conceptually be an amazing thing to watch, but are you willing to pay $20 million for it?
It is frustrating because we did get Davies for basically nothing. And then he ended up breaking out with the Wizards and it was on a bad year essentially, and then we just kind of have to possibly let him go. That kind of hurts to think about. And also, Quinton, if you want a good Ernie Grunfeld rant, Joe can give you one. He's probably not going to do it now, but
it's Tyler Grant. He's the worst GM ever. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's of all sports, not just basketball.
I mean,
I'm always baffled that he was here for 17 years or something like that.
Yeah, he's done a number on my life.
He did sign Gilbert Arenas, which was, I guess, a good signing. But
yeah.
He did have a couple good. He traded for Caron Butler. That was a swindle of a deal. But
he gave away Kelly Oubre. I would never ever forgive him for that.
That was the
I look
dagger,
at Kelly Oubre's Instagram every day and I shed a tear before I get out the bed. I miss him
you reading those comments on his Instagram too?
Oh,
you know
those
what
comments
I'm talking about?
We don't have to speak about them.
Wild. Oh my God.
The comments are very wild. Yes, he's a very popular man to everybody.
Jeez.
Anyways, so let's transition over to some other stuff. I mean, unless Mike, you have anything else for Savannah?
I guess so you said you want Onyeka if he's there, right?
Yeah.
Is there do you have almost like a mini big board in your head if you were to have one at that spot?
If we're assuming they're staying at 9?
Yeah.
I would go Onyeka 1. See, my big board is skewed now because all I think about is the fact that Obi, is he going to fall? I would say Onyeka 1. I don't love Okoro right now as much as I should maybe. He's going to be the defensive anchor.
Yeah.
But it's just like – I just want a big that bad. I think that's what it is. Yeah. If I get a guarantee that Washington is going to make a move for a Miles Turner, or not even a trade like that of that magnitude, but a Willie Cauley-Stein, a Rashawn Holmes, just somebody that can come in and man that spot. Thomas Bryant did incredible in the bubble. Thomas Bryant has shown that he can be a stretch big and all those things, but I need rebounding, defense, and lobs. That's it. That's it. And athleticism. Thomas, you can shoot. That's amazing. But this team, they set records for the offense they had last year without John, without a lot of these pieces. They're going to have no problem scoring the ball. They set a record for the worst defense in the history of the association last year. I need somebody that's going to help me in that realm and get me boards. And if it's a guy like Wiseman or Onyeka or just even Jalen Smith, a guy like that is going to come in and
I actually love Jalen Smith.
I love Jalen Smith, and he's another guy that you're not gonna have any questions about. He's gonna come, he's gonna shut up. Y'all pay me to rebound and jump, and I get easy every night. Look at Marcin Gortat. We say this all the time. Marcin Gortat, as much as I want to kill him about the way his relationship ended with John and Brad, he set screens, rolled, and literally had pins made for him about vote Gortat for All-Star. Because he didn't have to do anything. He's strong. Set strong screens and catch lobs. It was the easiest job ever. It's literally spoon-fed fed buckets. But if you can get a guy like that who can actually jump, who's talented, who can catch lobs, who can also have some sort of presence in the paint, that's the home run hit. So whether it's Jalen Smith, Onyeka, I want a big down low. And if you're not going to draft one, I need to see a trade or a signing. That's where I stand on that.
Yeah. So, yeah, before we transition, the thing with Jalen Smith is I was watching him. I'm like, I don't know why this guy's not ranked higher. I know he's like – his nickname is Sticks because he's literally a stick. But, I see what he does compared to these other bigs. I'm like, he seems like a pretty good – I could see him being the Rui pick. Like, he's not supposed to be picked at 9. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's supposed to be picked at 14, 15. But I would be totally fine with that.
It would be interesting to see where Sticks would be drafted in last year's draft. Who goes first, Rui or Sticks? Does Washington see to the future where, we need a big bad? And I think if you have Sticks and Rui on the board, they both do things well, but we all knew Rui wasn't a take the top off the gym. Sticks is a guy that can come in and assert that role immediately. Now, maybe they thought they were going to get a little more out of Thomas Bryant. That was one thing he was supposed to be focusing on this offseason or last offseason was rebounding and defense and screen setting, and it just didn't happen, and he faced some injuries. But who knows where Jalen Smith is going to go? I think he's going to sneak up on a lot of people, too. He might be another guy that goes top 10, and nobody saw it coming.
Also rocking the goggles.
Yeah. Old school swag. I like that.
Rock those goggles. But, yeah, Joey, what did you want to go into?
Yeah, I mean, I heard you're a sneakerhead, man. We got to just touch on this really quick.
Yeah.
So, and there's only two right answers to this question.
Oh, no.
Okay.
What are your favorite Jordans?
Oh, Jordan 1s.
Okay.
Jordan 1s might be the best. I don't think that was your answer, but Jordan 1s might be the best.
It wasn't.
Mike has Jordan 1s. I never got. I'm not even that big.
I have all black Jordan 1s.
I got 7 or 8 pairs of Jordan 1s in my room. I'm just like, I can't wait to wear these one day. It was the best shoes ever.
How many pairs of shoes do you have?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I'll just say I'll say maybe 40.
How many do you wear?
I wear all my shoes, okay? But
that's respectable.
It's just a lot of situations where I'm like, wow, I haven't worn those yet. I'm just not gonna wear those. Like, it has to be the right situation to fit. Like yesterday I wore they're called Space Hippies. They're called These Are Trash. That's the name of the shoe. They're made out of 100% recycled material. I love them. I wore them for the first time yesterday, and I don't think I'll wear them again for maybe a couple months or so. But
okay.
I love some shoes.
Jordan 11, Jordan 12, French Blues, two of the best. I don't think anybody would disagree, right?
Yeah, 11 was that was going to be my answer until I thought of one.
Okay.
Ones are just the number. 11s is definitely number 2 on my list. 12s are also a very underrated shoe. I think I have 4 pairs of 12s. 12s just work for everything. And if they're typically come the leather fashion, you can wear them in bad weather if it's raining and stuff. Most shoes have suede on them. You don't want to mess them up. But I definitely have my fair share of 12s. They're a good shoe.
I hear you. You.
I'm still wearing Air Force Ones I bought in 2011.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's my sneaker game right now.
They got some seasoning on them. That's all. They're veterans. They're probably ready for the Supermax. They've been playing enough.
Oh yeah. They are worn out for sure. What was the other thing we were gonna do? We have some trivia. We want to test your Wizards trivia.
Oh my gosh.
We'll end with that. But did we? Let me ask the group real quick. Did we finalize this question we want to ask about the song thing?
Oh yeah, Quinton. We just want to get to know you better, get to know your personality because you're very shy. I feel like none of us really know who Quinton is.
Right. So
we're just gonna randomly fire off some questions. I was in a sorority, so I'm very good at these get to know you questions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to know who is Quinton Mayo.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, Quinton. You can only listen to one song the rest of your life.
One
What-
song for the rest of my life.
And that's the only thing you can listen to.
Whew. You know what? Hold on.
You're a music guy too, right? This is
I
your
love. I
wheelhouse.
got a lot of good songs, but I'll probably go. I'll go "Sailing" by Christopher Cross.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very
Okay.
familiar
Nobody
with
was expecting that. I could tell about everybody's face, like, oh,
Okay. Well, okay. So what's like your, okay, just to keep it on the musical thing, what's like the song you're listening to right now? Like that's.
what song am I listening to? I listen to a lot of Sir. I don't really have a song from him, but he's like a very R&B chill type vibe.
Okay.
And I'm really huge on like just vibes and chill music. Like if I'm getting ready for a show or back when I used to study for school, I used to put on like lo-fi hip hop, which is just straight instrumental and just vibey background music. But yeah, I'm not really into nothing crazy. I really like vibes and chilling. It's my thing.
Sampha's been my vibe lately. Big Sampha
What's it?
guy.
What is it?
Sampha. You ever heard of Sampha?
I've never heard of him.
Man, I gotta get you hip.
Yeah, send me a couple songs. I'm willing to listen to anything. I don't shut anything down before I listen to it.
We can appreciate that.
Yes.
Mike and I are huge country music fans. Would you listen to some country?
Oh, for sure. You know, I love Achy
Wow.
Breaky Heart. You know what I'm saying? Florida Georgia Line. I get some Florida Georgia Line in there.
Okay.
We
You know,
can rock out.
Florida Georgia Line just did another song with Nelly. I don't know if you saw that.
See, I gotta get up on my Florida Georgia Line. I do a lot of fishing too, so sometimes you just want to go out there,
Okay.
get the vibes going.
Fish. Okay, I gotta get back to fish. I love fishing.
That's what they do down there at Randolph-Macon. It's a big fishing school, right?
Oh my gosh! Every weekend they were going to fish. I'm like, dog, why do y'all fish so much? Then I got back home and I was like, I need to go fishing right now. Like I need to be in the water. I can't
Where's
wait.
my rod?
Yes, ripping lips, man.
That's amazing. Savannah, did you have another question?
Of course I do. Okay, so you ready for this? This is going to be like rapid fire sorority girl round.
Okay.
We're in recruitment. I want you to join my organization. Ready?
Okay.
What's one thing you hope people know about you besides what you do, like who you are?
What's one thing I want people to know about who I am?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a chill guy. Like, I think that's pretty much it. Y'all know from Instagram or Twitter that I'm outgoing, but I don't think it doesn't really matter who you are. Like if you DM me, like I try to read all my DMs and like interact with everybody because I just remember being a Wizards fan and not like tweeting at, I tell them all the time, tweeting at Chris Miller to like, hey, this is how I feel about the team, respond to me, and like never hearing back from him. So like, I just like to be extremely open. So if you tweet me your takes or try to send me a DM or whatever, I'm really into having conversation with everybody, no matter where you are or who you are. So I think that's one thing people sometimes, they'll DM me and be like, oh, if you open this, you know, I would appreciate it, but if not, it's okay. And I'm like, dog, I'm literally nobody. I'm Quinton Mayo. Like I have all day to read your messages and respond to.
So you're checking
your
you're checking your requested DMs in Instagram.
Oh, all the time. I'm in the requested all the time, and I follow back. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no shame in my game.
Well, I just want to follow up on the Savannah question because you mentioned Chris Miller. Are you as hip to TikTok as Chris Miller?
No, not at all. Chris Miller has done something on that platform that's phenomenal. I don't understand. I tried to make a TikTok. I think I have a couple, but I tried to make a TikTok dance video. It took me like an hour. I was like, how do you even get the song? Like, how do I match up with the song? When's the time? I'm not TikTok literate at all.
So Quinn, when I was quarantined in Virginia the first time I came back for like this month for Thanksgiving, but my cousin from JMU, she's 21, and then her sister, who's 15, was living at the house with me, and it was like a culture shock for TikTok. And I actually made one with them. The amount of effort that went into that, I was like, nah, I could never do this.
No,
like a full day's work.
I've said I might get into it and just sit down and lock in. I even used to write it in my, like, I have agenda of things I want to do for the day. And I'm like, I'm going to make a Wizards TikTok today. And I would just cross off everything I had to do. And I get to Wizards TikTok. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not in the mood to TikTok right now.
It's a lot of
maybe
effort.
One day. Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, so you wouldn't be a TikToker if you weren't, a Wizards insider and talking about the Wizards every day. You're not going to be a TikToker. What's your job? What are you going to be doing with your life?
If I wasn't doing Wizards, what would I be doing? Probably gaming more often. I always said this, like, I'm gonna be the first like Twitch streaming YouTuber insider of a team. Like, I just want so many titles. I have so many interests. But I literally built this computer I have here from scratch. Like, I have all the equipment. I got these Astros. I can game for real, y'all. I'm pretty good.
You on Warzone?
Yeah, I'm on Warzone all the time.
Okay.
So that's probably what I would do. I'll be all in. Yeah, just send me your information. I'll be all in on gaming and just content creation. I think that's the biggest thing, even if it's YouTube or Instagram.
So your business card is long.
Yeah, my signature is on my emails, man. It's like a shopping list. Just keep adding on to it at the end. Like, what else do you need me to do? I could do it.
Yeah.
But I'll probably just be in content creation. That's really cool for me.
For sure.
Take that. Okay, well, now we're going to test your Wizards knowledge because luckily enough, you do cover the Wizards.
Ooh.
Now we're going to test your knowledge of the team. You ready?
I'm about to fail this test. I already know. I'm terrible with trivia.
Oh, good. And we made them extra hard. So.
All right.
Yeah, might be a couple softballs in there for you.
Just give me all those and then just say my final grade after that.
Okay. Who wants to start off, Mike?
Yeah, I'll start it. Okay, so this person, I am the second to last high school player ever drafted in the NBA. I averaged almost 17 points a game and 8 rebounds in one of the seasons I was with the Wizards. Who am I?
He averaged 17 and 8 in DC.
Mm-hmm. His nickname is Bulletproof.
And one of the last players drafted out of high school.
Second to last behind Amir Johnson.
I feel like I just wrote about this. Is this
Joe's nickname that he just said actually is hilarious now that I think about it.
Nobody likes him.
Is it No Chill Gil? You called him Bulletproof. That's crazy. Who is it? Is it Larry Hughes?
No. You want the answer?
Who is it?
Andre Blatch.
I was gonna say Deshaun Stevens.
Because I forgot Andre Blatch he got shot, didn't he?
Did he get shot?
I think.
Yeah.
Wait, was it before the draft?
Anderson. It was like right before his draft. I think that's why
he got like shot in the shoulder.
56. Yeah.
Are you Googling right now, Quinton?
He definitely got shot in a carjacking. ESPN says in 2005.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, because he got drafted in what, 2006, 5?
He was the 2005 draft.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right, I'll go number 2.
I never. That's crazy.
I know. So, number 2, I was drafted by the Bullets, 12th overall in 1987, but my DC career was cut short due to a trade. I also made my Hollywood debut in a hit movie in the mid-90s. Who am I?
Is cut short a pun for somebody that's short?
You can see the Google Doc. It's in all caps.
It was a very, very short stint in DC.
You know what? Is that Muggsy?
Yep.
You're right. Muggsy
Bogues. You know what I hate though is because I'm thinking of, I don't know why Earl Boykins has been on my heart.
Oh, he was another one. That was a trick question.
Earl Boykins is so short, but I used to love
guy.
watching him ball, man.
Killer.
Earl Boykins, the god.
Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
What 2 rookie players had an amazing weekly vlog called The Dominic Effect that has now been deleted from the internet?
Called The Dominic Effect?
This is like an OG, like Wizards head question.
Me and Joe used to watch these all the time.
What? And it was a Wizards player? 2 Wizards players were rookies.
Jamoke Davis produced it.
Oh my gosh. What year was this?
This was 07.
Think Airheads.
Oh, is this was this Nick Young and JaVale?
Nick Young and Dominic McGuire.
Dominic McGuire. Okay.
Fresno State. Yeah, so they actually added JaVale later on. Yeah.
No, I remember seeing like a clip from that recently on Reddit.
They tried to do the cinnamon challenge.
God, I gotta find that. It's deleted off
yes,
YouTube.
I remember this now. That's crazy.
He used to live in Arenas' house. That was
Oh
there.
my gosh. They were a mess, man. I would have loved to have
know.
been alive to cover at this age to cover that team.
Yeah, they were really fun, full of surprises.
All right.
They're champions.
Next
Well,
one.
Salad days.
Next question. Which player flipped a coin 10 times, and when it landed 8 times on the Clippers, he decided to sign with the Wizards to go, quote, against the odds?
He flipped the coin 8 times?
He flipped it 10 times.
10 times.
And it landed on 8 times for the Clippers, but he decided to go against the odds and sign with the Wizards.
This is back in 04.
03.
03, 04.
Think of a weird player that would do this.
This is a signing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Probably the best signing they've ever had. No, not Mike.
Or
this is probably the best.
This is Gilbert, yeah.
Yes, Gilbert.
When I'm thinking about Michael Jordan when he said that, who's the Mavericks owner? When Mark Cuban was trying to get him to come to Dallas, and he was like, like I'm going to DC. And he walked in on MJ signing all the paperwork to go to DC. And he was like, I'll give you way more money to come play for Dallas. And he said, no. That's a crazy story that made me think.
I know. I've never heard that before.
Gilbert I love him.
I love him for that. Love him for that.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, I thought I had a pretty underrated joke that basically said, the LeBradford Smith story?
Bradford Smith, yeah.
I said Michael Jordan held a grudge so much against the Bullets franchise that he became owner and GM and then traded away Rip Hamilton and drafted Kwame Brown.
All because of LeBradford. He ruined us.
Yeah.
All that trash, man. MJ was going to take it personally.
Yeah. So how many do we have more left? We have
one left.
One question left.
Okay.
I can handle this one. Speaking of MJ, besides Michael Jordan, there have been 5 All-Stars in Washington since 2000. Can you name them in 10 seconds?
In 10 seconds?
10
seconds.
Gilbert Arenas, John Wall, Bradley Beal, Larry Hughes?
Nope.
You got 5 seconds.
Antoine.
Yep.
Okay.
And
other big 3 member.
Was it Karan?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, man, you got it. You got it. It might have been kind of close, though.
I think I've run out of time. Savannah definitely gave me some Randolph making love on the countdown. I'll take it.
We don't want to get you fired with this bonus question, but who would you rather take, John Wall or Gilbert Arenas?
Oh my God! To start, am I starting a franchise?
Starting a franchise, right?
So prime of each.
And they're healthy?
Yes.
Oh, they're healthy.
Holy smokes!
And remember, Gilbert Arenas did average 30 points a game one season.
Well, Gilbert was an MVP candidate that year.
I think he would have honestly possibly won it that year.
I think out of respect for the OG, John respects him too. I would take Gilbert, man. I mean, if I could just eliminate all the shenanigans, and just get the player that Gilbert was in his prime. I mean, he was incredible. That's the reason why a lot of people even like the Wizards. I remember turning on Wizards games after the Capitals came on, like going from seeing this guy named Alex Ovechkin with yellow laces in his skates, and I would turn on the CSN Plus, and Gilbert was shooting from 35, like just jacking, turning around, cashing out. Like, he made me love Wizards basketball. So much I love John, Gilbert is definitely on my.
I always say Gil was doing Steph stuff before Steph. Like Gil was the OG. Like, let's jack it from 35.
For sure. All those. Around. Oh no. Yes. All those came from Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Even off the court. Yeah.
Also, I listened to that podcast I mentioned with John Wall with Gilbert Arenas, and I immediately then watched his 60-point game against the Lakers.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times, and rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. But even when that situation happened, going back and watching Kobe's games, you see how Kobe was dueling with Arenas. Like, he was the man. Like, people don't give Arenas, like, he was crazy and he says a lot of stupid stuff. When it came to basketball in his prime, he could do it all. He could do everything.
06, 07, it was Kobe and Gil and LeBron. And everybody else.
I did see a comment that said on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, they said, RIP to Kobe, but never forget he gave Kobe 60 in his house.
He did.
It was surreal. I remember staying up late for that game, and I didn't know what I was watching. I was like, this is ridiculous.
crazy. I miss Gil, man.
But too.
I think
Anyways.
we
I
are.
think that's pretty much. We are pretty much good to go on
Quinton,
the
thank
trivia.
you
And
so much for
That
joining
was fun.
yeah,
was
thanks.
so
Quinn.
This was fun,
Appreciate
man.
it,
I'm about to take a little boomerang of me with you guys.
Oh, okay, well,
Okay.
I'll make sure to look good. Give me a
Yeah.
Always look good. Don't say that.
aw shucks. Quinton comes on our podcast and it's so sweet.
All right, here we go in 3, 2. Oh, look at y'all. Y'all so cute. All right,
And
I'm gonna tag the
yeah,
the
tag the
podcast.
You've been our first guest of this podcast.
Hey, you are the first guest.
Really?
Yeah.
hmm
Oh yeah.
We gotta get you a trophy or something.
Yeah.
That's what I need. I need
You-
something I can
Appreciate
put on
you.
my wall.
You got-
back.
You gotta be a recurring guest now.
I'll do whatever y'all need me to do. You already know the vibes. If y'all ever need me, like Savannah, just hit my phone. I'm
got
always down. Always.
Nice,
Gotcha,
nice.
brother.
No, thanks for joining us. This was a blast. You're a
course.
wealth of knowledge and a wealth of personality.
Yeah, maybe too much personality.
No,
that
never.
was just perfect.
Thank you guys.
But thanks again, man. We really appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys for having me. Y'all have a
Appreciate
great
it,
one.
bro. You
See
too.
ya.
See you, Quinton.